We are rolling through the Wednesday edition of the program. One bit of crazy news that is getting a lot of attention is what exactly is going on with Le'Veon Bell and the New York Jets. The Jets are just, they're awful. And this is just further evidence that, frankly, you can't pay a running back a lot of money. But yesterday evening during the Tuesday night football game, news broke that the Jets were releasing Le'Veon Bell. Here was the statement that was made by the team. After having conversations with Le'Veon and his agent and exploring potential trade options over the past couple of days, we have made the decision to release Le'Veon. The Jets organization appreciates Le'Veon's efforts during his time here, and we know he worked hard to make significant contributions to this team. We believe this decision is in the best interests of both parties and wish him future success. And what is interesting about this move is, first of all, the amount of money that Le'Veon Bell made is pretty off the charts. The Jets paid Le'Veon Bell. Are you ready for this stat that I saw immediately after he was released? $34,869 per rushing yard. Again, how bad of a deal was it for the Jets to sign Le'Veon Bell? They paid him $34,869 per rushing yard. And I do think it's worth circling back on this as well. Remember how much criticism it went through in general with the challenges that are out there associated with the decision made by the Steelers? Because there were a lot of people out there when decisions were being made about Le'Veon Bell and when decisions were being made about Antonio Brown that they ripped Mike Tomlin, they ripped Ben Roethlisberger, all of those people who came in for criticism, also Martavis Bryant and Mike Wallace. Everybody said, oh, the Steelers are imbeciles. Now that Le'Veon Bell has been released, and I'm sure somebody will sign him, but none of those guys that the Steelers let go currently have NFL jobs. Not Antonio Brown, not Martavis Bryant, not Le'Veon Bell, not Mike Wallace. The Steelers are pretty good judges of character and how much juice somebody has left. Mike Tomlin hasn't made very many mistakes in that respect. Now, he came in for a lot of criticism back when Antonio Brown was traded, and people said, oh my God, look at the steal the Raiders got. None of those guys in the league. The decision to not break the bank to sign Le'Veon Bell, the Steelers right now are 4-0 for the first time in 41 years. And even last year when Ben Roethlisberger was injured, they were still able to be in the playoff race throughout. Now, we'll see what happens in the NFC North, and we'll see what happens with the Steelers going forward. Big game with the Browns coming to town. But there's a decent chance that the 5-0 Steelers are going to end up playing against the 5-0 Titans next week. Now, certainly the Titans could lose to the Texans. Steelers could lose to the Browns. But there's a decent chance that we've got a battle of 5-0 teams coming up. And certainly, I think it's fair to say the Steelers made the right decision with Le'Veon Bell, letting him walk. They made the right decision getting Antonio Brown out of town. And they continue to have tremendous success at finding the right talent at wide receiver to pair with Ben Roethlisberger. But this was such a long-term discussion in the world of sports discussion. It's amazing how much the Steelers look right here. Would you have ever believed, Danny G, that the Steelers could look this right with both Antonio Brown and with Le'Veon Bell, letting both of these guys walk when it looked like they were such linchpins of the Steeler offense?
Never. It just reminds us not to overreact because we're not really general managers in the NFL.
Yeah, and I wonder now, how much value does Le'Veon Bell have? I haven't looked at the list of all the teams that might be interested in signing him. I mean, I'm sure there are teams with suspect running back issues, with health-related concerns at the running back position. So I'm sure somebody will sign Le'Veon Bell, but the decision by him to sit out for a year, he hasn't been the same player ever since he went and got back on the Jets. And the Jets are just, let's be honest, an unmitigated disaster right now. We're going to give you a top 5, bottom 5 when we come back at the top of hour 2. Then we'll be joined by Shannon Spake. We'll continue to break down the NFL, all that and more.